What's up, my wizards? It's Dev from MTG down there, YouTube.com. Got some Wednesday Hour of Devastation spoilers for you, and there is yet again a good number of them. So, without further ado, don't want to waste too much time. Let's get to talk about some cards. Now, here's a card actually that's from yesterday. It came out right after I finished editing the last video, so we'll save it for today. This is Ritual of Hazoret, or Hazoret's Ritual. It's 5 mana. That's 3 and 2 black for a sorcery. You can search your library for a card, put it into your hand, just like any other tutor, and you can cycle it for 1 black mana. So, Diabolic Tutor costs 1 more mana, but now you can cycle it. Solid, probably, decent in Commander. Just another Commander tutor. In black you've got this, Diabolic, Demonic, Vampiric. You got a million tutors already, so I'm not sure that it ends up making the cut, but a tutor that can cycle is pretty good, and it might actually see some play in Standard in the new Perspectives deck. The deck already has to make black mana, so maybe, although 2 black is a whole different story from just the 1 for Shadow of the Grave. So I'm not 100% sure on that, but if it does see play in Standard, it's probably in that deck and not much else. Although it may be a one-of in like a blue-black control deck. Possibly, because blue-black control wants tutors, but it also doesn't want 5 mana sorcery speed cards that don't necessarily do anything the turn you play them. Other than, you go get a card, but wait till the next turn to play it. It's just control doesn't want to do a whole lot of that at sorcery speed for 5 mana. So I'm just not really sure where the card sees play, but even all that aside, it's still a solid card. It's hard to argue that. Here's another 5 mana card. This is Ominous Sphinx right here. It's 5 mana, 3 and 2 blue for a 4/4 Sphinx with flying. Whenever you cycle or discard a card, target creature an opponent controls gets -2/-0 until end of turn. That's solid and limited, I guess. Like if you're drafting up the cycling deck, then this is okay. At least, you cycle at instant speed, so you can just like kill their attack step. You cycle a card or two. It doesn't seem terrible at all, but Standard play no. Although limited, probably an all-star. Here's an Aftermath card. This is Consigned to Oblivion right here. The Consign half is 2 mana, 1 to blue for an instant. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. And Oblivion is a sorcery with Aftermath, obviously. Target opponent discards 2 cards. Yet another strictly better Disperse. We already had, Compelling Deterrence. Now we have this, which is probably, maybe better than Deterrence. I guess in a deck with zombies, I'd probably still rather play Deterrence, honestly. 5 mana to make them discard 2 is not great or anything, although I guess if you're playing against a control deck or any other deck that wants to keep cards in its hand the entire game, this is fine, and once you get to 5 mana, you can make them discard the last 2 cards they've been holding on to all game. So card doesn't seem too terrible. I definitely like the first half. I always like bounce cards like this. Totally fine, non-conditional, other than lands. That's not bad. And it's stapled onto a thing that, like, you might want to cast late game. So I don't think the card's bad, but just like some of the other cards we'll see today, and a card we've already seen, I'm just not really sure what its home is. Yet again, you could see this in blue-black control, just like the tutor that we saw at the beginning of the video, but is it worth a slot in blue-black control? I'm not sure. Check out Hour of Eternity right here. It's the blue hour. It's 3 blue and X twice for a sorcery, so it better do something awesome. Exile X target creature cards from your graveyard. For each card exiled this way, create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's a 4/4 black zombie. So essentially, for 5 mana, you get to eternalize any 1 dude in your graveyard. Hey, that's not a bad deal. For 7 mana, you get 2 guys. 9 mana, you get 3. Like, it gets out of hand really quickly, and you're not going to have that much mana, I would imagine. But, I could see, like, a big mana combo deck that gets a butt-ton of mana by, like, turn 5 and just, like, eternalizes 3 key dudes that it's dropped into its graveyard. You could go Johnny with it like that, but honestly, I don't think it's worth it. Like, it's so much work to make this work. And, like, 3 blue mana, guys, and X twice? Like, this is probably one of the crazier casting costs that we've seen in a while. So, even though the card is neat, it's technically a reanimation spell for 5 mana, like, it's still probably not good enough. And, like, if you're just trying to straight up reanimate 1 dude, you can do a lot better than this. So, I'm not sure that, even though the card is super slick, like, this is a cool card, probably, again, not really gonna see much play, which is sad. Although maybe in some sort of Tron thing, I doubt it. Not gonna happen, but still. The more I try to make it happen, the more I'm like, nah, it's not gonna happen. So, Commander? That's just sort of the go-to for when a card may or may not work. But still, card looks really neat, and I'm interested to see what it might do, but ultimately, looks like a 20 cents rare to me. Now here is a good magic card. This is Vizier of the Anointed right here. It's 4 mana, 3 and a blue for a 2/4 human cleric. When Vizier of the Anointed enters the battlefield, search your library for a card with embalm or eternalize, put it into your graveyard, then shuffle your library. Whenever you eternalize or embalm, you draw a card. Check out all that text. Like, this is actually one of my favorite cards of the day, and I think that it will make the limited format in some ways, you know, especially in draft. You draft up a couple of this guy, like, you're doing really, really well for yourself. The card looks fantastic. To be honest, just a 4 mana body that tutors up anything with embalm or eternalize. There's a pretty good spread between those two abilities in this limited. That's awesome. Drops it right into your graveyard, and when you do embalm or eternalize anything, you get card advantage. Like, come on! This is the linchpin of a specific draft archetype that looks like it's going to be a big deal. And outside of limited, I'm not really sure about it. Although, again, even in standard, I will say that 4 mana is a lot of mana. But you get a body, you get to tutor for a card, drop it in your graveyard, and you get to draw cards whenever you do eternalize or embalm. All that's so good, right? Like, you could probably draw 2 or 3 cards in the course of a game with this thing. And the only thing that might shut it out of competitive standard play is its 4 mana casting cost. But if you can get the stupid thing out, then you can essentially go get whatever creature with a specific ability that you want. That's cool. Drop it right in your graveyard, embalm or eternalize it the next turn, and get a card off of it. If you just pull off this interaction one time, like if you just draw 1 card off of this and embalm the creature that you tutored for, you've gotten a ton of value. This is an insane value engine. So I could see it seeing some amount of standard play, even at 4 mana, but we'll definitely say in limited, this card is a stupid bomb if you can build around it. Actually, I'm not finished yet. You don't even have to build around it. To be honest with you, if you just get like 1 or 2 cards with embalm or eternalize, this card is fine, even in that situation. So in a sealed pool where you get like 2 embalm or eternalized dudes that you want to play, then this card is it's still gonna do a lot of work for you. So I won't even say you have to build around it. You know, you get like 2 eternalized dudes in your sealed pool, this guy's great. We got to see the last of the gods being defeated cycle here. That's an awkward thing to say. But here's Hazoret's Undying Fury first. It's 6 mana. 4 and 2 red for a sorcery. Shuffle your library, then exile the top 4 cards. You may cast any number of non-land cards with converted mana cost 5 or less from among them without paying their mana costs. Lands you control don't untap during your next untap step. The first line of text is so long that I lost my breath halfway through it. So this card is super rando, and I don't like that about it. Although, I will say that you get 4 free cards off of it. That's pretty good, right? It seems decent. Although for 6 mana and you don't get to untap next turn, you're basically time walking. Like, some of these only cost a few mana, so you're like, oh, it's cool, you know, I can skip my next untap step, I'll be okay. At 6 mana, it kind of doesn't matter when you play this in the game. You play this on like turn 8, and you're probably still going to be tapped out next turn. So that is not good, although it can produce a butt ton of value. Like, best case scenario, if somehow the gods show their favor to you and you get 4 cards that cost exactly 5 mana, then you've created so much value. You've created 14 mana worth of value out of this card. But it's not going to happen. That's definitely not going to happen. But I could see situations where you do get a few mana worth of value off this card, and that's not bad. And people have already pointed out that you can cast almost anything in the expertise cycle, everything but the green one, and then get more value. You know, get free cards off of those. So it's not terrible or anything, but 6 mana cards have to win you the game. Now this might win you the game, definitely, but I don't like the might in that sentence. It's super random, and you can even like kind of whiff, you know, you can hit like 2 lands and a couple of 2 or 3 mana things, and you haven't really created any value. So I just don't necessarily know that this is going to like really shake up standard and be like the next big thing. Really doubt it. I think we're just going to focus more on reliable strategies, and this just probably isn't reliable enough, even though the card does look pretty balmy. Here's the last card in the gods are getting messed up cycle right here. This is Kefnet's Last Word. It's 4 mana, 2 and 2 blue for a sorcery. Gain control of target artifact, creature, or enchantment. Lands you control don't untap during your next untap step. Being able to get artifacts and enchantments is actually kind of important, to be honest. There's a pretty wide breadth of targets for this card, but I'm not 100% sure. And yeah, when you compare it to things like Control Magic, you could say that the text is at least better and the type of the card is better. You know, it nabs more targets, and it's a sorcery. Like something like Control Magic is an enchantment, so all I have to do is blow up Control Magic. They get their thing back. This is a sorcery, so once you've done it, it's done. There's really not much they can do other than, you know, bounce the creature back to their own hand. So card looks at least decent, although, again, it's really hard to assess how bad it's going to be to leave your lands tapped in something like, again, a blue-black control deck. Said it 3 times already this video, but this card looks like a card for that deck, but it may just be a trap because, again, you don't want to, in control, have a 4-mana sorcery speed card that time walks you the next turn. Like, this card in control is not even viable until you have like 7 lands out so you can cover yourself with a counterspell. So I'm just not really sure. And again, this could see 1 or 2 off play. It's removal in a way that lets you get a threat, which is super sweet. That's 2 things control wants, but I'm just, again, not sure that it wants a card that's going to essentially time walk them and keep them from answering stuff the whole next turn. So really tough to assess this card's value. I don't think it's going to see play ultimately, but could be very wrong on this one. And I want to know how you guys feel. Here's a couple of more limited cards. I want to run through these before we get to a couple of really interesting cards to close out the day here. Here's Merciless Eternal. It's 3 mana, 2 and a black for a 2/2 zombie cleric with a flick 2. And you can pay 2 and a black to discard a card and have Merciless Eternal get +2/+2 until end of turn. Well, you know, again, this is a limited card right here. Probably not completely priced out of standard. But at the same time, in limited, it looks like a decent little bread and butter uncommon creature that's going to allow a couple of different strategies. Dumping stuff into your graveyard if you need to for whatever reason. It's a mana sink that pumps itself. It's a 3 mana 4/4 sometimes. That's cool. The Afflict is there, at least. You know, so card seems at least solid. And we're going to move on to another Eternal that's solid. It's Eternal of Harsh Truths. It's 3 mana, just like the last one. 2 and a blue for a 1/3 zombie cleric, again with a flick 2. Whenever Eternal of Harsh Truths attacks and is not blocked, you draw a card. This one I like a little bit better than Merciless Eternal, just because I like drawing cards. It's sort of reminiscent of Ophidian, which I definitely like, and I like that they have incentive to block it because they don't want you to draw a card. But if they do block it, they take more damage. So all of this seems at least pretty decent. Yet another, again, bread and butter uncommon creature for limited decks. So looks fine to me, although, again, I don't see it transitioning into competitive play. This is Frontline Devastator right here. It's 4 mana, that's 3, and a red for a 3/3 Zombie Minotaur Warrior. There's that awesome creature type again. It's also got a flick 2, and it's a mana sink as well. You can pay 1 and a red to have it get +1/+0 until end of turn. Again, just, you know, solid. 4 mana 3/3 is at least decent. The Afflict ability is there, and that will matter some of the time. And it's a mana sink that can pump itself. Like, all of that is at least good. This is a decent, like, 17th card slot in a limited deck. I say 17th because I don't think it's a 23rd creature. Like, this has a pretty high chance of wheeling at a draft table, one would imagine. And as a second pick, you could do a lot worse. And here's God-pharaoh's Faithful right here. GPF is just 1 mana for a 0/4 human wizard. Whenever you cast a blue, black, or red spell, you gain 1 life. Well, I don't think this is going into, you know, I don't think this is another sister for Modern Soul Sisters, but it's at least neat. It's kind of reminiscent of things like Jedi Offshoot, you know, 1 mana, 0 power, some toughness, gains you some life when you do a thing, you know. But I don't think this is going to see all the standard play in the world. Although in sealed, like maybe, you know, possibly playable 1-drop that's like a Yoked Ox. I have no problems with that. What I do have a problem with is that if you want maximum value out of this card, you have to play like 4 colors. That's a little awkward, I would say, and probably not worth it to play 4 colors just for this. So I just boo on that, you know. But I guess you could play this in, you know, an Esper deck or something like that and still get decent value, so it's not bad. But I'm actually going to talk on camera about this card. Here's Bloodwater Entity, which is a sweet name and good art. It's 3 mana, 1, a blue, and a red for a 2/2 elemental with flying and prowess. It's one of these. When Bloodwater Entity, enters the battlefield, you may put target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard on top of your library. Auto flip your Delver next turn in Modern, bro. Like, I don't know. It's probably not good enough in Modern, but maybe. People have been talking about it. But again, in Standard, it's just another one of these. You know, we see these occasionally. We have a 2 mana red and blue one right now. His name evades me, even though that's one of my most popular deck decks, but still. It's another one of those, you know. But this one is pretty cool, you know. It's definitely very likely that by turn 3 in the blue-red spells deck, you probably got a 1 or 2 mana instant or sorcery in your graveyard. So, decent card on turn 3 that lines up a guaranteed spellcast for you on the next turn. Guaranteed prowess trigger, all that's cool. So, I don't think the card's bad, especially as a guaranteed 3/3 flyer on the next turn, and very likely a 4 or 5/5 flyer on the next turn. Not bad at all. The card is a bit awkward at 3 mana, but is still pretty awesome in sort of the budget spells deck. We keep seeing a lot for that deck. I think Wizards wants it to be a thing really bad in like every format for the last 2 years. So I'm glad the card exists. Not really sure all the play it's going to see, although again, the budget spells deck, it looks sweet. This is the newest card of the day. It actually got spoiled right before I came on camera, and it's definitely my favorite card of the day. This is Crested Sunmare. It's 5 mana, that's 3 and 2 white for a 5/5 horse with other horses you control have indestructible. What is going on? At the beginning of each end step, if you gained life this turn at all, create a 5/5 white horse creature token. Rather than that white horse. What? Seriously, this is a real card. This is a real card. First of all, it's at the beginning of each end step. Your end step, your opponent's end step, and you just have to gain any life at all. That's great, you know? Like, really a fan of this. It synergizes with itself, horses you control have indestructible, and it creates horses. Like, and it cares about horses. What? Like, I don't know, man. I should think this is dumb, but like, this is actually great, man. It's not bad. It's really, you guys, the card isn't bad. Like, if you gain life the turn you play it, which isn't too hard to do without spending any mana, you know. Lifelink creatures or any number of static effects on enchantments and stuff that gain you life every turn. Not tough at all. We actually just saw a thing that whenever you cast any spell that's Grixis colored, you gain a life. So that works with this. Just anytime you gain life at all, for any reason, that very same turn you play this, you can get yourself another 5/5. So for 5 mana, you can get 10 power in 1 turn. And if you can gain life on your opponent's turn, then by the time it's come back around to you, you will have gotten 15 power for 5 mana. Indestructible power for that matter. Like, I do not think this is a bad card, like, at all. I'm definitely going to try to make this a thing. Honestly, I wish I had more to say about this card, but I'm still a little flabbergasted at the fact that it exists at all. Like, it looks like a joke card. Ha ha, horses, they care about, let's make horse tribal. But no, guys, like, this is not bad as, like, the top end in a blue-white control deck. And I know that I've said twice that the control decks don't want to play, like, 4 and 5 mana sorcery speed cards. But this is a threat that will, like, generate enough value to win you the game eventually, and, like, even in just a white-based mid-range deck that plays, like, Glory-Bound Initiate and any number of other cards, Lone Rider, there's 1,000 white cards that gain you life. That's, like, what the color does. The card looks fairly boss, honestly. Like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this. The card's good. I promise you. Card looks good. And yeah, I think a card actually is good when it reduces me to caveman status. I'm just like, card is good. Card good. Like, I don't have much more to say about it because I'm telling you guys, there's something. There is something going on with this one. But I'm tapped out for now. It's your turn though. Go to the comments section. Let me know how you feel about the horse card. You know, and all the other cards. Like that thing that like lets you tutor for an embalm card or an eternalize card, puts you in your graveyard whenever you embalm or eternalize, draw a card. That thing is good. Like, that is a fine card. And there's better cards today too. You know, there's stuff that I gave a bad rap to, and I'd like to see you defend it in the comments section if you like it. Especially like Kefnet's last whatever that was, the control magic. I get a sinking feeling that card might actually be better than I'm evaluating it, so let me know if it is down there in the comments section, because we got some talking to do. This is normally the part where I tell you can like the video and do all the YouTube stuff, and I'm still going to tell you to do that, but before I get into that, I should also let you know that midnight tonight, my spoiler video is going up. I cannot wait. Like, I literally cannot wait. I have to release it like a little past midnight tonight so that it's the 29th. But, you know, it's just like, I can't wait. I can't wait. My card is super boss, I think, and I've got a lot to say about it, so I'm not going to waste any time. Midnight tonight, Eastern Standard Time. I am putting that card up for you guys, so make sure that you're with the channel. Make sure you check in with us, or you can just sub, hit the bell for the notifications, and you'll see when that video comes up. My preview card is super dope, and I want to make sure that you guys see it, so be here midnight tonight. Unless you're watching this tomorrow, in which case be there midnight yesterday, or the video is already up. There's As soon as the video is up, I'm going to put a link to it in the description of this video. So I am very serious about my preview card this season, guys. It's awesome, and I want you to see it. So make sure you check back with the channel and like this video if you enjoyed this video. You can check us out on Twitter at SBMTGDev, or you can just check us out on Patreon. Going way too fast. You can check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/SBMTG. And I will see you cats later. I'm Dev from that place. Thanks for watching, my wizards.